Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Discussions. It's hard to believe another week has flown by already. I am your host for Discussions, James Piranha Madonna of Mega Life 21, the hardest-hitting internet talk radio station on the planet, and I am here with my illustrious co-host and mentor, the one and only, the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. How are you, sir?
Fine. I think...
beautiful day.
Yeah, I think spring, May, after 3 weeks, be coming around.
Well, the buds are out on the trees.
Yeah, well...
And my herb garden is growing. My garlic chives have been up for weeks. And I think the spearmint's coming up for those delicious mojito drinks. And
I thought you were going to make toothpaste.
No. Cilantro. My cilantro, I think, is kicking in. I will be planting Jersey Giant asparagus. I went to Home Depot and I purchased 2 packages of asparagus roots, and they were only like $3 and change, much lower, believe it or not, much cheaper than what they cost online. And good old Home Depot. I got 2 bags of Jersey Giants, which are actually larger and more productive than the Mary Washington asparagus. And they're good to go, man. I'm going to plant them today. And then I'm going to get some cherry tomato plants. And, hey, it's the only way to fly in this day and age. If you have access to a place to put very large pots, you can find large buckets at a dollar store, buy potting soil, Miracle Grow fertilizer, or if you happen to have good soil where you live, which I don't. My soil is very hard and with a high clay content with a lot of rocks, similar to like Georgia with the clay. It's horrible for gardening, so I have to use very large buckets as pots. Of course, put holes in the bottom with potting soil for everything. You know. But anyway, I will be planting calendula. I have 4 packets of calendula, otherwise known as marigold flowers. I will be planting them. Anyway, it is Saturday, April 9th, 2011, and I want to thank Sean Hollywood's very unique and very talented classic rock band, Cooper's Dignity, and my boy, the one and only, the Renaissance man, Can Create, for an outstanding debut together. The first time ever that Cooper's Dignity and Cooper's Dignity and Can Create has performed together, and it was last night at the video will be on, the show will be on later today on the internet. I was at Jimmy D's Blues Saloon in North Bergen, New Jersey, and that's where they were. The very first time they performed together. Very talented band, a great sound with comedy. Because the lead singer has an eye patch like a pirate, and he uses puppets, and he's very, very funny. He combines comedy with a fantastic classic rock sound. Check him out on the internet, Cooper's Dignity, www.coopersdignity.com. And if you want to book Cooper's Dignity along with Can Create, just send Sean Hollywood an email at SeanHollywood46@AOL.com. That is Sean Hollywood Entertainment. Now, before I begin, I'm going to show people something. You know how we often, of course, we always bash right-wing conservatives because they do represent the devil's economics, and the Republican Party is, along with Satan's help, seems to be winning. And since right-wing Republicans like to deregulate corporations and businesses so they could pretty much fuck over the consumer and screw you, I received this in the mail, and it was in a plain professional business envelope with a window, and of course it's tax season and people are anxiously awaiting their tax refunds. I see this immediately. Okay, of course I crossed out my address to protect my privacy. Here we go. I see this immediately, but did I believe that it was really a government check? It looks like a government check, doesn't it? Guess what? It's a sleazy promotion by a new car dealer, auto dealer in the area to get me to come down and buy one of their damn Toyotas, financing deal. You know, of course you have the disclaimer in the fine print because a car dealer will not cut you a break. Actually, no business in the United States will cut you a break. There's always a catch. They're all snake oil salesmen. There's always a catch. No business in this country, especially retail, will truly give you a break. They all lie and twist in this truth, and of course they're allowed to deceive you in advertising. But that's it. See,
Caveat emptor.
Well, the Republicans love that.
They love it.
Let the buyer beware. The company, the business has a right to screw the consumer over.
But
right?
The consumer doesn't have the right to screw the company over. The right wing, of course, they don't like tort. They want tort reform. You know?
Oh yeah,
tort reform.
They want tort reform. They want a statute of limitations on lawsuits, right?
Yeah.
They don't want you to be able to sue and receive a retribution, a compensation for your losses, or to protect the consumer. That's why consumer rights are much more protected under, I used to say liberal Democrats, now moderate Democrats. When a moderate...
they're instead of putting these things in political context, just say a decent person.
That knows right from wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, how many people really...
Not many, and certainly not in politics.
Which is pathological.
That's correct. Mr. Wilhelm Reich said that many moons ago.
Well, it certainly is pathological. Now, I'd like to start off by talking about... Of course, we'll get around to bashing New Jersey, conservative, wicked, greedy, stingy, mean-spirited, conservative Republican Christie later on in the show. Okay, because he's a bully. He likes to, similar to the obese people that like to push and shove me at a buffet, which is true, by the way. Some buffets. Chris Christie, the bully Chris Christie, which he should wear a T-shirt that says "the bully." I hear Chris Christie is responsible for closing food pantries in the state of New Jersey.
Maybe he wants to save them for himself.
So maybe, look,
it's to visit them all.
It's okay to cut taxes from the rich, but it's not okay to have food pantries to compassionately feed the poor, the homeless, the hungry. Isn't it funny how that works?
Funny, you just saw it all play out with the shutdown threats that were going on. They want to cut money from Planned Parenthood, the EPA, all programs that involve the poor, or etc.
All programs.
Yeah. Now they made a deal, which I am not up on yet, of $39 billion. I wonder how many, cuts came in poor programs and etc. And the dummy-crats fall over backwards, fold up like
cheap cameras,
and give the gall-dang Republicans everything they want.
Now, in this area in northeastern New Jersey, we have thank God they exist, we have an organization which provides good health care for the poor. It is called the North Hudson Community Action Association, I believe, or corporation or something. Anyway, there's several of them. And I found out from talking to one of the head honchos that they get absolutely nothing, zero, from the state of New Jersey to help pay for any of this. And even the federal government, I believe, does not send them any money. Shame on you, Trenton. Shame on you, Washington. Shame on you, Christie. But it doesn't surprise me. This organization has very good clinics. They got internal medicine, pediatricians, dentists, gynecology. And it's.
Well, they have to give money to faith-based initiatives instead.
Yeah. What about welfare for the rich in Wall Street bailouts? That's okay.
That's okay. Yeah.
Goldman, kissing Goldman Sachs' ass is okay, but helping Hudson County Community Action Association is not good. You know what? They're despicable. They are despicable.
They're devil-led.
It's all devil-led.
Devil-led.
That's why they have no remorse, no
compassion,
like a psychopath, like a
sociopath. Yes.
A sociopath. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They have no remorse for it. Now, Mr. Donald Trump. Okay, let me put on my Trump look. Just picture me having a Dennis the Menace hairstyle, blondish with bangs, and having a face like a bloated goldfish. Here, let me do a Trump. Just picture the bangs, the blonde-haired bang.
I heard somebody today.
You're fired. You are fired.
I heard somebody.
You're fired
today.
I got to talk about Trump because you know what I'm going to talk about.
I'm talking about Trump. I heard somebody today who knows him, has been up close to him, etc., and says his face is a mask of vulgarity.
He's a miserable man. You mean the inner Trump, the real Donald Trump?
No, it shows on his face, he said.
He's very negative. He's very mean-spirited, perhaps?
Vulgarity. He's vulgar. Vulgar-looking. It comes out in his face.
Hey, listen. I agree with Rosie O'Donnell when she made fun of him and she started... And I apologize that, I listened to the wrong people, and what Rosie O'Donnell said about Bush way back when, she was right. Right? Remember she shouted something out on the mic about Bush?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And they crucified her.
Rosie O'Donnell was right. Hillary Clinton was right about the great right-wing conspiracy. She was right about that. They're all right. Well, let me tell you something. Donald Trump. Have you seen that video? The Donald Trump interview?
Not yet.
Lately about how he's on a rampage or a tirade to prove that President Barack Obama was not born in Hawaii.
Yeah, he's a birther. However, there is a problem with Mr. Trump's birth certificate.
Where was he born? An Alpha Centauri or something?
I have no idea, but that's what's coming to light. It's the same thing. They had the problems while McCain and Obama were running for president.
Right. They claim he was born in Kenya.
Yeah, but McCain was born in the Panama Canal Zone.
Yes, he was. But his
and nobody mentioned it.
But Panama Canal Zone at that time was owned by the United States, right?
Never was owned by the United States. Only run by the United States.
So Republicans
for 99 years
are big hypocrites, basically.
Of course.
Now Donald Trump.
Is no surprise.
Donald Trump is trying so hard to sabotage. I could tell sabotage Barack Obama's re-election campaign for 2012. That he's bringing this all up. He's investigating it. He's claiming that Donald Trump does not have... No, I'm sorry. Donald Trump is claiming that Barack Obama does not have a so-called legal, bona fide birth certificate with serial number, and signatures and all that stuff.
Certified.
And certified. And he claims that Barack Obama's grandmother in Kenya swears that she was at the birth. She was witnessing the birth of Barack Obama in Kenya. Now, whether or not that's a lie or the truth, it's coming from an elitist. Now, I thought
his birth certificate is up online from Hawaii.
From Hawaii.
Hawaii. Yeah.
Now, I thought Donald Trump was the nicer wealthy elitist. when he used to talk against outsourcing of American jobs to India and China, which he still does, which I agree. But his true colors were shown in a recent interview when he admitted that he was a Tea Partier. He is a Tea Party supporter, and he accused the Democrats and the Barack administration of spending money like a drunken sailor, quote unquote, like a drunken sailor.
Mr. G.W. Bush didn't do that, though, did he?
Oh no. $1 trillion in Iraq, $1 trillion to Wall Street bailouts, not to Main Street, Wall Street. Oh no. Republicans do not spend money like a drunken sailor, but the Democrats do. So the fact that Donald Trump made this statement says to me that he is a conservative and just doesn't want to come clean and admit that he's really a conservative Republican, and his agenda is to vote in, to be the spoiler and sabotage the re-election of Barack Obama so a Republican administration can get in, and then Donald Trump will be assured of probably not paying any taxes at all, ever, similar to General Electric when we talked about GE last week. That's his agenda. It's selfish. Probably. He's doing all this to be the spoiler to screw Barack Obama's re-election, get a Republican in so Donald Trump does not have to pay any taxes. The same reason why, remember when Steve Forbes used to, every time there was a presidential election, he used to do interviews about the flat tax? Well, former New York City mayor at that time had a syndicated talk show, and his own law firm, Eddie Koch, said, you can't have the flat tax because the rich will not pay any taxes at all under the flat tax. That's the reason why Forbes wants the flat tax. And they just want a consumption tax, which means the tax burden would be totally on the middle class and the poor. So it's similar. They come off as caring about the country, about the mainstream American people, and they claim to have compassion for the overtaxed middle class, but in reality, they have selfish agendas associated with greed.
Yeah, every one of the agendas, when you look at it closely enough, you'll always see that it always involves a tax cut for the rich.
Yeah. So Donald Trump showed his true colors, and this is leading up to what I wanted to talk about. All right. There are people out there, this gentleman, African-American person, has been sending me messages on YouTube, but there are many, many people like him. Now, I'm willing to bet everything that this man, just like the other people that like to support Republicans, conservatives, this man is not in a high income tax bracket. He is not an elitist, and there's a very good chance he will never be in a high income tax bracket, but he like enthusiastically and in an obsessed way supports and defends Tea Party people, conservatives, Republicans, and he like pretty much does it even though, you know, the conservative Republicans and all conservatives do not have the middle class best interests at heart. You know, they definitely don't have the poor's best interest, but they do not have the middle class's best interest, because it was the conservatives, as in Ronald Reagan, who shifted the tax burden from the rich to the middle class and the poor in the 1980s. So why are these individuals so obsessed with defending conservatives? Is it ego? They just want to debate you? They want to debate somebody and fight with somebody? Is it an ego thing?
It's the social agenda, as I keep explaining.
What is with these people?
You can never get away from the attacks that they've made over the years to liberals. Liberals are godless. Liberals kill babies. Liberals are irreligious. Liberals are atheists. They are secular humanists. You can't get away from
Right.
that. It's been drummed into people's minds.
The ideology.
The ideology.
Yeah, but these people, economically, financially,
they're not voting.
it's not their best interest, but they're not voting economically.
They're voting the social issue. They perceive that the Republicans are more godly than liberals. And that's where it ends. It's as simple as that. Has nothing to do with money, has nothing to do with anything else. And the Republicans get away with it because they've been very successful at brainwashing these people.
Well, according to end-time Bible prophecy, I guess the Tea Party conservatives and the deluded, foolish American lemmings that support them and vote for them, I guess this all falls into end-time Bible prophecy. For those of you that do not know your Bible and claim to be real Christians, for those of you that thump your Bibles, the United States and Great Britain, according to the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman's Red Thread, they are modern-day descendants of ancient Israel cursed tribes, Ephraim and Manasseh. The United States is not like God bless America and everybody else is wicked. No, no, no. The United States is under a curse. The United States was not meant to survive and to prosper, okay? The beast, the Antichrist, will, to make a long story short, most likely be the European Union led by Germany. And then you have Gog and Magog, which is the Asian hordes over in China. And then you have the King of the South, which is the Islamic extremists. But the United States is not meant to prosper. I don't care how much you Tea Party conservatives jump up and down and scream. It's not prophesied, and it's falling into place. The United States is completely bankrupt. Probably mainland China owns the U.S. with all the treasury bonds that they bought. They don't want to buy any more treasury bonds, from what I understand. But
yeah, they're going to start investing in Europe.
In Europe,
they see
euros.
Yeah, they see. Well, the euro's in trouble, but whatever the monetary denomination will be over there, they are seeing Europe as a rising force, and Latin America.
Latin America. And Asian countries are rapidly, collectively, the Asian countries are advancing technologically and economically at an extremely alarming rate. And China is the future economic superpower.
Every time you put a factory over there in China or one of the what used to be third world countries, you are also taking your technology with you, and you are giving it to them.
Well,
that's what happens over the years.
Their engineers will dissect everything and
they reverse,
and do it better. Isn't that how Japan?
That's how Japan did
it. Became the #1 technological giant. It took United States made products and made them better, and dissected it and learned from it. Sure. Well, they have a different
reversed engineered.
They have a different work ethic, and they focus. Like Mr. Miyagi used to say to Daniel-san, they focus on their goals.
Ralph Macchio.
Oh, he's
the Karate Kid.
He was an annoying, whiny pain in the ass.
He's on Dancing with the Stars.
Ralph Macchio,
right,
man, he drove Miyagi nuts, whining and bitching and moaning. Yeah, Dancing with the Stars. And so is Chris Jericho, professional wrestler.
Oh my God.
Chris Jericho. He looks good. He learned a lot. He looks really good. I don't really like some of the ballroom moves. They kind of look girly and effeminate. And the jumpsuit outfits, the tight outfits that the men wear. Nah, it's kind of like effeminate. But anyway, getting back to Bible prophecy, it all falls into place. Now, if it only makes sense because if Americans were smart and not fools, and they voted for progressive liberal independence, which is the much lesser of the two evils, then the end times would probably be delayed much longer, or probably would never take place. Because if you have nothing but progressive liberals in charge of the House and the Senate and the administration, the White House, the poor will be taken care of. There'll be jobs. kept in the United States, kept, no outsourcing. The rich will pay their fair share in taxes, like the FDR Second Bill of Rights.
Like they used to?
Like they used to. The rich will pay, and they should pay the taxes. The cheap bastards. They have, listen, if the rich paid the original 91% tax rate, they still would enjoy a very, very high standard of living.
That's because once you reach a certain...
So greedy, yeah.
You reach a certain stage in money accumulation. What the hell else can you buy?
Yeah, how much is enough? How much money is enough? Donald Trump and people like you. How much money is it? Was it Warren Buffett and all these other jabronis? How much is enough? How much money does one need to be happy? You know?
Well...
I mean, God, lousy food pantries. You know, Christie, food pantries, you don't select the kind of food you want. They put a package together and you have to take what they have. And you know what the food pantry people told me? Their objective is to offer food that is filling to the poor, not nutritious. They're not interested in nutrition. They're not interested in whole grain, certified organic products like you might find in Whole Foods. Oh no. They're interested in high refined carbohydrates, white flour and white sugar.
Powdered eggs.
Powder, everything based on bulk and carbohydrates, refined starchy food, and low in nutrition. Nutrition is not their objective. Right. So, you know, Christie is making a big deal about food pantries. What? I'm sure Christie can go out and eat filet mignon and a rock lobster tail anytime he wants. And he would probably turn around and say, well, I've earned everything I have.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's about privilege, and it's about breaks, and it's about connections, and it's not about earning.
It's about greed.
It's about greed. It's about the love of money, which is idolatry in the Bible. The love of money. The banks are their churches, and money is their God, and that's what it's about, because they can afford to pay their fair share in taxes, and the rich should pay the bulk of the taxes, not the middle class. But anyway, before we start the articles, we have to take a break, right? And before we take a break, I like to say this, if you're wondering what this is an authentic imported blackthorn shillelagh imported from Ireland. It is a weapons grade shillelagh that the British outlawed way back when. Many, I guess centuries ago. Shillelagh. All right, we're going to take a break.
It belongs over a Republican's head.
Oh man, to crack open the heads of real 100% conservative Republicans that want the mainstream masses to become slaves, and that are anti-minimum wage and anti-benefits.
Anti-people,
anti-union, anti-unions. Yep.
That's what it comes down to.
That's what it comes.
Anti-people.
Yeah,
ain't like them.
It's profits before people.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but we'll take a break. Greetings. We are back from break. Now, before you mention what you were going to mention about school lunches and greedy, stingy, conservative Republican leaders that want to deny poor and middle-class children an adequate 3 square meals a day, I just want to read
Just 1 square.
1 square. They don't even want to give them. They don't even want to give them 1 square. Oh, by the way, if you see more light behind me, it's so lovely today that we decided to open the door. Open the hatch. All right. I want to read the 3 biblical verses at the beginning of Newsletter Censored, and I will do a promo later on about the brand new issue that just came out. Okay, here we go. Now we have 3 verses. Now listen to this, Tea Party idiots and fools and lemmings and right-wing...
Christians.
Huh?
Counterfeit Christians.
Counterfeit Christians, right-wing conservative Republicans, and you traitorous blue dog conservative Democrats, and corporate American CEOs, the modern-day tools of Satan.
Who claim you're doing God's work.
Yeah,
like
right.
Monsanto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all of them. They all suck. Donald Trump with his selfish agenda. Me. Don't want to pay taxes, so pretends to care about the outsourcing of jobs out of the country. But what he really wants is for a Democrat not to get in office. And of course, you know, he wants to see all wealthy people not pay any taxes at all forever. Okay, here we go. Bible verses. Quote, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Unquote. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 21. Is that the correct way to read a verse? Okay. Prove all things, which means don't just talk off the top of your head. Don't just stump the Bible. Don't just talk ideology. Prove it. Okay, second one. Quote, he that oppresses the poor to increase his riches, and he that gives to the rich shall surely come to want.
Now,
hold on. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 16. I'm sorry.
Isn't that what the Republicans do? Constantly giving to the rich. Tax cuts for the rich. Tax cuts for the rich.
Absolutely.
Constantly.
Wall Street bailouts.
But then they'll come with their out of the other side of their mouth and they'll claim to be Christian.
Yeah, Wall Street bailouts is right. I just read the verse. It's simple. All right, and since the Bible is the absolute word of God, no? All right, last one. This is at the top of Newsletter Sensitive. Quote, he that makes haste to be rich shall not be innocent. Unquote. Proverbs chapter 28 verse 20. There you go. He that makes haste to be rich.
And there are plenty more.
Shall not be innocent.
In the Bible.
Okay. Reverend Dr. Bill, you were going to say something in the last video before we went on break about school lunches?
Yes, Jamie Oliver, Chef Jamie Oliver from television, wanted to go to Los Angeles schools and give the kids good meals, better meals than what they're getting. And he was refused to do that because of many reasons. They didn't really state them, but actually, when you think about it, they don't want the camera floating around, you know, looking into nooks and crannies and all kinds of things. And who knows, you know, when they get these crap foods, these powdered eggs and flour and white sugar and stuff, they get them from corporations and they make deals. And I'm sure that in these deals there are a lot of hands washed.
Palms greased?
Palms greased.
United States food industry. What better place to get garbage food donated in a phony, fake gesture of compassion and generosity and philanthropy, making believe, oh, the corporate CEOs in this country, oh, what a bunch of nice guys. They're donating this crap. So poor kids and middle-class kids possibly can have a school lunch and it won't affect the taxpayers. It's shit. The children should not be eating this garbage. It's not healthy. What a bunch of crap. They are so, I swear, the wealthier Americans get, the more stingy and selfish they get. And greedy.
Greedy. Super greedy.
Now, continue with the articles. If these low-class, noisy, asshole individuals outside continue to make noise, I'm going to have to shut the door.
What does hell mean to you? Ask almost any Christian and each answer will be a little bit different from the last. Is it a burning, unending nightmare for sinners and billions more unsaved souls, an element of mainstream Christian teaching for centuries?
This means the grave.
Or is hell here on earth in the distractions, addictions, emptiness of not knowing God?
Just vote in all Republicans, and you'll experience hell on earth.
The idea is receiving fresh scrutiny from some believers, following the work of a prominent evangelical pastor, Rob Bell, who questions the traditional idea of Christian hell in his book, Love Wins. Even before Bell's book was published this month, pastors, theologians, and people in the news were alternately branding it heresy, hailing it as a breakthrough or landing somewhere in the middle. Bell better go back and read his Bible again. He's all messed up, wrote Ruth Ward of New Albany, Indiana on Facebook. Satan is having a field day. At the heart of Bell's position is that God's love can triumph over every obstacle, including sins that Christians have long believed would consign them to anguish in the afterlife. But that notion is appalling to many people, Bell argues, and is minimized even by those who uphold its truth. The book is saying we need to take hell more seriously, because the people who warn about hell when you die don't seem to talk about it very much.
Yeah, that's if God is interested in the mainstream average person. But according to Bible prophecy, he's not. He's only interested in the elect for ruling at Jerusalem when Christ comes back for a second time. Is that
well, I
correct?
Noticed here that the book is about hell. What is hell? That was the question at the beginning of the article. It was never answered.
No, it means the grave.
The grave,
Death.
Hades, Gehenna.
Well, Gehenna, isn't that the lake of fire?
The lake of fire.
Well, but the grave, Hades, hell,
The final
Hades.
result.
It means the grave.
Final result.
Absence of life, right? That's all it is.
Dead.
Dead. The
Dead.
dirt sleep.
Dirt sleep.
I had some jabroni over on Facebook. Speaking of dirt sleep, he said that Dr. Gary Null and Dr. Julian Whitaker, more or less, will not help that poor young man with hepatitis C, the professional wrestler, and he said it was bullshit. And I pretty much told him that, hey, Patrick Swayze told Gary Null that holistic health and alternative medicine and nutrition was bullshit. And look what happened. Look what happened to Patrick Swayze.
Luann Panesi,
Yeah.
who now works with Gary Null, had hepatitis C along with a whole bunch of other problems.
Really?
And she is fine today.
She tests negative
That's correct.
for... Really?
Yeah.
I bet Gary Null really boosted her immune system.
That's what it's all about.
Aggressively.
That's what it's all about.
Comprehensively, yeah. But anyway,
She was under several protocols because she had a lot going on. And she was a nurse.
and don't forget, also, Mr. Gary Null has also cured many cases of pancreatic cancer. The
And
infamous
Alzheimer's?
pancreatic cancer, Alzheimer's, sure. A lot of things
Parkinson's?
that are called Parkinson's, things that are called incurable by orthodox medicine.
Mm-hmm.
The drug companies, do they really have your best interest at heart?
No.
I don't think so. Just like the conservative Republicans do not have your best interest at heart. They have their own best interest at heart. Greed, 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 greed. Selfishness. The me generation.
Hanoi, Vietnam.
Hanoi, the capital.
Veterinarians examined a giant turtle
Yeah.
considered sacred by many Vietnamese at a makeshift hospital in Hanoi on Monday to check mysterious lesions afflicting one of the last 4 known members
Wow.
of its species.
4 left in the world? I hope they're protecting them in captivity and trying to get them to mate.
The giant soft shell turtle, which has a shell the size of a desk, is estimated to weigh about 440 pounds.
Now this is not the much smaller Florida soft-shelled turtle, which is not endangered. This is huge. Just think about it. It's like a sea turtle, man.
It was pulled from a lake in the heart of the capital on Sunday. Tests were being run to try to pinpoint what is ailing the creature.
Oh, it's not from over-harvesting for food?
Don't know.
Oh,
It's got lesions on it.
Wow.
The animal is believed to be about 80 to 100 years old,
Turtles live a very long time.
though many Vietnamese believe it is the same mythical creature said to have helped King Loi fend off the Chinese nearly 6 centuries ago. The species,
Okay.
Raphetus svenhoi, is one of the world's most endangered freshwater turtles. There is one male turtle of the species in another lake in Vietnam, and a male and female at a zoo in China, where a breeding program has so far proved unsuccessful.
Really? In other words, providing these 2 turtles with everything they need,
Soft music, no condoms,
medical care around the clock,
lubricant.
perfect lubricant, perfect temperatures, environmental temperatures, the best food, I'm assuming, and the turtles are not laying fertile eggs, and they have incubators
Obviously,
for
they
reptiles.
haven't even gotten together.
They have incubators where I'm sorry. They have incubators. Excuse me. I gotta let the cat out of the bag. Literally. They have incubators where if you set the incubator at the right temperature, you will get more or less equal amounts of both male and female reptiles born. If you raise it a certain temperature, they can be all male. If you lower it, all female, you know.
These 2 have not gotten together yet.
They have not gotten together yet?
No. They're not dating.
Okay. You said you had a fascinating article about salamanders. You were telling me
It'll
the
come
other
up here, hopefully.
I like salamanders. They're cool.
The gender of the Hon Kiam lake turtle remains a mystery,
The turtle.
since it would require turning the animal upside down to examine it. So the one they got here with the lesions, they don't know what it is yet. They don't know if it's male, female, or what. Okay.
Oh, by the way, listeners, there's very few shows that crack me up to no end. I mean, some of them would be like, the Three Stooges, possibly Sanford and Son, somewhat the Honeymooners, but mostly the Stooges. But I tell you, this Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David, the producer of Seinfeld, is one of the very few programs that have me laughing hysterically nonstop. It's unbelievable. I mean, I really congratulate him. The guy's freaking funny as all hell. Gets into trouble. He pisses everybody off. It's like amazing. All right, continue.
By the way,
Yeah.
Jesse Ventura was on Gary Null yesterday.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not.
In New York?
Yes.
On the radio show?
Yes.
Ah,
No, that
Gary.
you can go up. Since you don't listen to him on the radio, you can go up and watch him whilst the show is on.
Really?
At the radio network up there.
So I am glad to know that Gary is aware of Jesse Ventura and conspiracy theory. And does he mention about conspiracy theory?
Jesse has his new book out called 63 Documents the Government Doesn't Want You to See.
Oh, yeah. Now, did he talk about, is Gary aware of conspiracy theory, the book?
Well, he's aware of,
But he's aware of Jesse's work.
They didn't speak about that per se.
But he's aware of Jesse's work.
Yeah.
Because Gary is an activist just like Jesse is.
Yeah.
You know, so really, I gotta watch this. You think it's on YouTube?
It probably is up there on his archives. Gary's archives.
Gary's archives. In video. In video, you think?
Every day while he is
in video?
Every day that Gary Null is on the radio, it is being videoed.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
You can go up to the Progressive Radio Network and watch it as it is taking place for both video and the radio.
Good. That's all I want to hear. Good. Listeners, very important. Two of the greatest minds today. Okay. Heroes to the little guy. Mr. Jesse Ventura and Dr. Gary Null.
Jesse is suing the TSA.
Alex Jones is another great one. All right, he's suing the TSA, right?
For those x-rays and the groping.
He got felt up at the airport in Minneapolis, St. Paul, was it?
He has metal in his body, so every time he goes through the thing, of course, it sets it off.
Sets it off.
So instead of, he has to get groped all the time.
So they feel him up. They do what Frank Costanza, you know, Jerry Stiller on Seinfeld, they stop short with Jesse Ventura. I stopped short, man. Remember that? I don't know. You don't watch the show, but anyway, that's terrible. Every time you go to an airport, especially a macho guy like him, that's a Navy SEAL.
And the best part of it is
getting felt up.
They know him. You don't see Boehner having to do that. Boehner does not have to do that.
Oh, really? The Weeper of the House, John Bonehead Boner Boehner, does not get felt up at the airports?
No.
But somebody who exposes
they don't know the governor. They
don't
know the Navy SEAL. They don't know the wrestler. They don't know Jesse Ventura.
No, because they're busting his balls because of conspiracy theory.
And they're feeling his balls too.
No, because of conspiracy theory. Because the establishment, the system, the powers that be know Jesse Ventura exposes the dirt and the corruption.
Well, we'll see what happens.
So they're busting poor Jesse's couillons,
yeah,
as we say in Italian. I'm Italian. I'm Sicilian. I'm not Irish, I'm sorry, but I happen to like shillelaghs and Irish things. Anyway.
Frogs and salamanders.
Here we go.
Crossing New Jersey's roads in search of water to lay their eggs often encounter a brutal predator, motorists, who squash them under their wheels.
Assholes. I drove on a highway one time in Little Egg Harbor, New Jersey, which is a half hour north of Atlantic City, and I saw turtles crossing the road in the springtime, and it probably had to do with breeding season. I pulled over and I helped some of the turtles. I went and bodily picked them up and brought them across the road. And these pieces of shit redneck motherfuckers, is that who is running over turtles? Who is running over animals? Turtles. Who?
In New Jersey. We are not rednecks here.
New Jersey, our people? Pieces of shit.
In an effort to preserve future generations,
Blackthorn,
spotted
right across the,
and Jefferson salamanders,
cocksuckers,
wood frogs, and spring peepers. A conservation group has been sending out volunteers for nearly a decade to pick up the slimy creatures
pisses me off,
in their hands and carry them across the road to safety.
Good for the animal rights activists. Good for them.
Over a recent 2-night stretch at Swartzwood State Park in Hampton Township.
Where the hell is that?
Sussex County.
Oh, I like Sussex County. It's very pretty up there. Rescue
teams with the Conserve Wildlife Foundation saved nearly 700 amphibians.
They're in, tiger salamanders are endangered in America in general.
Do they live under a rock?
Yeah, rotted tree stumps and they're big. They get about a foot long and they can swallow.
My God.
Oh, come on! Don't be a namby-pamby. They can swallow mice. They're very cool amphibians.
Amphibians.
Yeah, amphibians. Yeah. They're very cool. I like things that, you know, big. I had 2 pet tiger salamanders a long time ago. They used to tear into those super mealworms and night crawlers and mice, and don't worry about it. I like pixie African bullfrogs and Argentine horned frogs, you know, real macho pets. All right, continue.
And an untold number of their future offspring from a premature death. The foundation works in conjunction with the DEP's Endangered and Non-Game Species Program. Amphibians are an important part of a healthy ecosystem and its food chain. Like everything in nature, they eat and are eaten. As adults, they feed on all kinds of insects, help to keep pests in check. It's definitely worth it. It's a lot to coordinate as darkness is setting in, but you're doing something you can measure, and some sites have huge numbers. A sudden decline in amphibian population in particular area could alert humans to a possible environmental problem.
Yeah.
They absorb oxygen and chemicals through their skin. So things like acid rain, oil, road salt, pesticides can cause them to disappear from an area.
Very sensitive to the environment, very sensitive skin. The amphibians are the first to show negative changes in the environment.
The canaries in the mine shaft.
That's right. And so talk about predatory bullfrogs. Anything that will fit in an amphibian's mouth. In general, even themselves, they have known to be cannibalistic. There is no loyalty. It's like piranhas. There's no unity. There's no loyalty, except when they want to get laid. Then they get along.
Yeah, for a short period
of time.
Once
they shoot their load.
So does the black widow spider.
Once they empty their flapjacks, they're off to eating each other.
Okay.
The black widow spider, same thing.
For a short period of time. And then she chews the head off the guy.
Well, you know, the male black...
After he's given her his all.
The Merry Widow, well, my grandfather used to call it the Merry Widow. I thought that was funny.
The Merry Widow is a girdle.
The Merry Widow spider...
Corset.
Yeah, that's another talk show. The sexually oppressed Victorian era or whatever. But anyway, the...
Ara.
Yeah, ara. The, what was he talking about? The spider, the male spider is considerably tiny compared to the voracious and cruel female spider. And when after copulation, he has to split very quickly. Or else he becomes fodder for the children. I mean, food for the offspring. Yeah.
This makes them useful indicators of environmental health. Because the amphibians make their nighttime trek only when temperatures reach a certain point,
right,
and when it's rainy, coordinating the group's approximately 80 volunteers is difficult. We spend a lot of time following weather.com. I tell the volunteers to dress as if they were planning to go skiing and wear a raincoat over it. Rescuing the amphibians can be an exciting experience. Sometimes you have to resist jumping out in front of a vehicle to save them. And what about the naysayers who might wonder why people who would want to go out on a rainy night wearing reflective rain gear to rescue frogs and salamanders? Some people think we're a nuisance, but not everybody thinks you're crazy. Most people are just fascinated when they find out what we're doing.
Well, it doesn't have to be a rainy night. A rainy, overcast day will bring out a lot of amphibians, too.
Picture of the salamander there?
Let me see.
In case you want to look at it.
Oh, yeah. I know this. I know the animals quite well. I am a lover of exotic pets. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. It's not a tiger salamander, but it's a very pretty. They got a cute face. I mean, they're not unpleasant.
Hey, what, are you going to date the damn thing?
They're not unpleasant.
Cute face.
Jefferson salamanders. What are they? They look like George Jefferson. They walk like a
We're
penguin.
moving on up.
Maybe that's why they call them Jefferson salamanders. When they're crossing the road, they're singing that song. We're moving on up to the east side, to the deluxe apartment in the sky. Oh, how's it go again?
That's it.
Fish don't fry in the kitchen, beans don't burn on the grill. It takes a whole lot of trying just to get up that hill. I don't know the rest of it.
Fight fat with fat. The newest obesity theory
you're right about that.
suggests we may one day be able to do just that. Just like cholesterol, there are apparently good and bad types of body fat.
I've always said that.
Scientists until recently believed this
Brown
good fat, which spurs the body to burn calories to generate body heat, played an important role in keeping infants warm, but by adulthood was mostly gone or inactive.
Brown fat cells, it's like an additional organ, internal organ. It's very beneficial, right?
Now, 3 studies from researchers in Boston, Finland, and the Netherlands show that some good fat remains in adults, affecting metabolism and potentially offering a target to help people shed pounds.
You wouldn't know it with all the blubber that the average American tends to have nowadays.
Dr. Francesco Cili, an endocrinologist and metabolism researcher at the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases, said the studies show this fat burns large amounts of energy, so it could be used as a target for a pill that would somehow rev up the fat, he said. Dr. Louis Aroni, a weight control expert at Weill Cornell Medical Center in New York, said the findings are the most conclusive evidence so far of the role of such fat in regulating body temperature and weight. I don't want to use the words exercise in a pill, but it's doing something that's getting rid of calories, he said, adding that any obesity treatment developed around the fat could be a potential treatment for diabetes as well.
Oh, really? That's true.
The studies were published in today's New England Journal of Medicine. The good fat is actually brownish, while the more predominant fat is white or yellow.
Old James. Adipose tissue. I was right.
Brown fat is stored mostly around the neck.
I don't do health talk for nothing.
Brown fat is stored around the neck. Under the collarbone.
See, I didn't know that.
I don't have too much of it, believe me.
Yeah, you're a little bony.
White fat tends to concentrate around the waistline, where it stores excess energy and releases chemicals that control metabolism and the use of insulin.
Unless you're the situation from MTV's Jersey Shore, then you don't have that white fat around the waistline problem. Good for you. Condition, taking good care of yourself. You look great.
I want to see the situation in 30 years. See if he keeps that up.
Listen, situation, let me tell you something. Be like, my message is, be like Jack LaLanne, God rest his soul. Never give up on hitting the gym and keeping away from, I know the situation watches his diet very closely. Stay away from the refined carbohydrates, white flour, white sugar, fried foods.
His sex life? Did you watch that?
That has no ill effects.
Really?
Getting porked.
It has immune effects.
Is good aerobics.
It has immune effects.
Well, for the woman who rides you, maybe. What?
It has immune effects.
The stiff shillelagh. Immunity? You're trying to say that getting laid just suppresses the immune system?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Yeah, my
and
ass.
For women,
my front.
Each time.
Yeah, women.
Another penis is introduced into that vagina. We have an immune problem.
It's the same tissue.
It doesn't matter.
One penis to another penis. That's like saying my shillelagh to some guy in Ireland shillelagh. It's like blackthorn, penis. It's the
when
same
the
thing.
penis deposits its semen
Well, that's if you...
within the vagina.
Wow, now you're
It is
talking.
an immune problem.
Now you're explaining yourself.
Well, did you not think just putting a dick in there is a problem?
I thought, well, some guys pull out and ejaculate somewhere else.
Yes, but still,
Or use a
coming
condom if you...
every time you come
You
into,
have to, yeah. Huh?
every time you come into contact with another person, close, intimate contact,
Bodily fluids.
it is an immune thing.
You're talking about an exchange of bodily fluids.
That's even worse. I'm talking about just being in the vicinity.
But listen, all right, what if the male has no disease, no STDs, and the woman doesn't have any either, and he shoots his flapjacks, his marshmallow fluff, and he gives her a fluffer nutter, and the woman, let's say she has an IUD, like the copper IUD, which is a very good form of birth control. It lasts for 12 years, and it's non-hormonal. You hear that, ladies? Non-hormonal. It doesn't make you fat, and it lasts for 12 years, and it's 12 years of guy doesn't have to pull out. He can just finish off right inside of you and have a ball, have fun. Anyway, if the both of them are clean, how does that affect the immune system?
They are both different. They have different germs. They have different energies.
Energy?
Energies, yes.
Germs?
I just said.
You mean
germs.
women have different germs than men?
No, people.
People.
Individuals.
I said they're both clean.
But they still have different germs. We are individuals, even as far as our germs are concerned.
Oh, really?
Whatever the rationalization you're trying to come up with, the fact of the matter is, each time it is an immune depressing
Wait a minute.
situation.
When you say a different energy, different set of germs, you're talking about individual to individual, not race to race,
I'm not talking about no stinking race.
gender to gender. You mean every individual has a different energy, a different substance about them.
Different germs on their body, in their body.
And the commingling of this a sexual bodily fluid suppresses the immune system.
It becomes an assault on the immune system.
For the man and the woman?
If the immune system particularly can't take care of it,
Yeah.
then yes, it is depressing.
For the man and the woman?
Both.
Mutual.
Mutual.
Interesting. You see, we get very deep here at the discussions at the Newsletter Censored Research Center in northeastern New Jersey. Some woman was trying to sell sex toys at the show with Cooper's Dignity and Ken Create last night. She had brochures, she had booklets all over the floor, all over the couches, everywhere. It's amazing, and what a rip-off these sex toys are. What a rip-off. They're made in third world countries for pennies, and they're sold for extremely high prices, especially the illuminating dildos that light up and
sex trade has always been.
They have vibrator, they spiral, they spin around.
An inflated situation.
They have disco lights inside.
Oh my God! What the hell do you want to do? Have do a disco dance inside a vagina?
You could literally hang one of those.
Calling John Travolta.
You could literally
calling John Travolta.
John Travolta. You can literally hang one of those dildos on a ceiling in the middle of a room, and have a DJ come and have a party.
Where the hell's the Bee Gees when you need them?
Oh, who?
The Bee Gees.
Oh, the Bee Gees. Staying alive, staying alive. You know what was erotic in those days? Donna Summer's "Love to Love You, Baby." Or got my mind made up. Come on, you can get it, girl, anytime. Tonight is fine. Remember that song? That was another erotic one. Now, of course, 9 Inch Nails. I Want to Fuck You Like an Animal is a very erotic rock song.
Oh, that must be very exciting for a young lady.
Very romantic.
I want to fuck you like an animal, honey. That's like the whistling on the corner. When the chick goes
Catcalls?
Yeah.
You mean construction workers?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't like that. They don't like catcalls.
Well,
but they like attention.
What the hell are you, what are you going to date the guy?
No, well, women like young women that spend a lot of time getting all dolled up love attention. That's why they do it, to compete with other women, basically. But if they get too much attention, too much of a good thing, they get pissed off. It's like they wear low-cut outfits, they show cleavage, but if you stare at them a wee bit too much, they get angry. But if you don't stare at them at all, they get mad too. You can't win. Damn if you do and damn if you don't.
About 5,500 years ago,
Oh.
someone in the mountains of Armenia
Okay.
put his best foot forward in what is now the oldest leather shoe ever found. It'll never be confused with a penny loafer or a track shoe, but the well-preserved footwear was made of a single piece of leather laced up the front and the back. Researchers reported, worn and shaped by the wearer's right foot, the shoe was found in a cave along with other evidence of human occupation. The shoe had been stuffed with grass, which dated to the same time as the leather of the shoe between 5,637 and 5,387 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
This great luck. We normally only find broken pots, but we have very little information about the day-to-day activity of these ancient people. What did they eat? What did they do? What did they wear? This is a chance to see this. It gives us a real glimpse into society. Previously, the oldest leather shoe discovered in Europe or Asia was on the famous Otzi the Iceman, found frozen in the Alps a few years ago and now preserved in Italy.
He's like
Otzi,
the original Mr. Freeze.
Otzi has been dated to about 5,375 to 5,128 years ago.
Huh.
Mel Brooks, the 2,000-year-old man. Well, this guy's the 5,000.
5,000-year-old man.
Right.
I just want to apologize for the big planes flying overhead. We do have the Newark International Airport to the south of us.
And Teterboro.
About, half hour south of us. And then we have Teterboro Airport is where all the famous people and people with money,
corporate jets
land their private jets.
Yeah.
People that are coming to the New York metropolitan area land in Teterboro Airport.
Otzi's shoes were made of deer and bear leather, held together by a leather strap.
Bear leather?
The Armenian shoe appears to be made of cowhide.
Yeah.
Older sandals have been found in a cave in Missouri, but those were made of fiber rather than leather. The shoe, discovered in what is now Armenia, was found in a pit, along with a broken pot and some wild goat horns. There was discarded material that had been tossed outside the cave, while this pit was inside the living area. And while the shoe had been worn, it wasn't worn out. It's not clear if the grass that filled the shoe was intended as a lining or insulation, or to maintain the shape of the shoe when it was stored. The Armenian shoe was small by current standards. U.S. women's size 7, but might have fit a man of that era. The shoe was described as a single piece of leather cut to fit the foot. The back of the shoe was closed by a lace passing through 4 sets of eyelets. In the front, 15 pairs of eyelets. Take you a day and a half to lace up that shoe.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
There was no reinforcement in the sole, just the one layer of soft leather. I don't know how long it would last in rocky terrain.
Oh,
It was
man.
noted that the shoe is similar to a type of footwear common in the Aran Islands, west of Ireland,
Oh, okay.
up until the 1950s. The Irish version, known as a Pantries,
Your Irish version.
Pantries,
Pampooty. That doesn't sound Celtic to me.
reportedly didn't last long. In fact, enormous similarities exist between the manufacturing technique and the style of this Armenian shoe, and those found across Europe at later periods, suggesting that this type of shoe was worn for thousands of years across the large and environmentally diverse region.
Is this thing almost over?
While the Armenian shoe was soft when unearthed, the leather has begun to harden now that it is exposed to the air. The shoe is currently at the Institute of Archaeology
Oh, boy.
in Yerevan, but it is hoped it will be sent to laboratories in either Switzerland or Germany, where it can be treated for preservation and then returned to the Armenia for display in a museum.
Well, let's hear it for early primitive man. Do you have any Chris Christie, John Boehner, or Donald Trump articles? Where are the political articles? Do you have any Chris Christie, John Boehner, or Donald Trump articles?
These are political articles.
No. What about Republican? What about stuff about Chris Christie trying to take things away from the poor? What about Donald Trump's
We all
bullshit?
know about Chris Christie and
But what-
Donald Trump.
Well, how come you don't?
And the problem is,
How come
with
you
these
don't?
things,
You don't prioritize
these things
those.
are not important.
They're not.
No.
The
because-
Republicans fucking over the poor is not important.
No.
Why? Explain to me why.
Why?
Please.
Because it's been going on for how long, and people have done nothing
Well,
about it.
because they're
That's the
pussies.
problem.
They have to the mass. The
Well,
ass.
you can continue to give them all the
The
facts you want, and it won't help.
The asses of the masses have to get out there
And how do you do
And
that?
if you-
Not by more facts.
by us talking about it.
Talking about it. But right now, those three items that you're talking about, there's no clue, directions, or information about them. You don't know, or anybody doesn't know, what exactly was agreed upon yesterday in the $39 billion stupid no shutdown. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows, so we don't have enough info to present it
Damn.
on our show.
And besides, it doesn't matter what the current fact is today,
Yeah.
which is not important about these things. It is the agenda that is
In
important.
other words,
Whether it happens in Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, or in New Jersey.
so in other words, what we talked about at the beginning of this show was the agenda, the motives behind all of this.
That's correct. That's the only thing that is important.
And now what you're saying is that is far more important than reading current news articles about Chris Christie's doing. Chris Christie said that. John Boehner said that. Donald Trump is saying this. Blah 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 blah.
We
what
all
you're saying.
know what occurred in Wisconsin with Scott Walker.
We know.
We all know about the video with
Yeah.
the Koch brother, the fake
Right.
Koch brother.
We know about the
We
interview.
all know
Yeah.
about what happened. But guess what?
We know about Chris Christie.
Where are the changes? And where is the outrage from the middle class, from the mainstream?
There you go.
Now finally understanding this agenda which has been promulgated for the last 30 years.
The overtaxed, the strangled by taxation middle class, the so-called Tea Party protesters, the lemmings that are led off the cliff into the sea of despair. Where are they? What is wrong with Americans today? What is wrong with them? Why are they believing and doing things based on the sensationalism of the people out there screaming and getting, you know, the gut. Why are they doing things based on gut feelings and emotions?
Right.
Why aren't they thinking?
So
There's no logic.
So that's what you want to do. You don't want to do specific facts every day which change. You want to get at the motives. You want to get at the agenda. You want to get at the, what I used to term universal themes.
Ah, universal themes. So the important stuff.
Christie could fire the teachers tomorrow. He could be mad at whatever's today.
He can close food He can close food pantries.
But behind all
except
of that,
his own, of course. You know.
Behind all of that is the important thing, the why. The why is this being done? Because you can cram facts down people, just like religion. A person has a religion. You can cram facts down that person's throat every single day, and it ain't going to change him, not one iota.
Now, what about us eventually starting to read Book of Revelation, your readings of Book of Revelations?
Why don't they get the newsletter? They got a God Project in it every
Hey, wait a minute.
quarter.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because next, when I do the promo for this show to wrap up... You're right. To wrap up discussions for today, for this week, rather, when I do my usual promo, I will talk about the very newsletter that contains the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman's God Project, the very newsletter that was founded in 1977, still going strong. This newsletter censored. You're right. Why should we give people the real deep, hard-hitting truth when they should be getting the newsletter?
When they can...
With their gift to support...
Get the newsletter, read it, chew it up,
digest
it.
No, don't shit it out, though.
Check every dang scripture.
Right.
And then think about it.
Go to the book. Go to the Bible themselves.
You know?
There you go.
Instead of hearing it.
Right.
And then dismissing it.
That's right. You're absolutely right. Thank you for setting me straight, Dr. Bill. This is why they call me. This is why the reinforcer, Andrew Anderson's daughter, Olivia, named me James Piranha Madonna, because I sink my teeth into what's important. Okay. I get all excited and rambunctious about things. Anyway, we're going to go take a break. The Reverend Dr. Bill will partake in his usual high tea and nutritional supplementation, his green tea, and then I will do promo. We are back from break. Now, while the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisman is participating in high green tea and nutritional supplements, okay, he is on this side. He's on my left side.
Hello!
Of the Newsletter Censored Research Center in Northeastern New Jersey in his office, and this side instead of the other side. I'm going to do a little promo, if you don't mind, like I usually do. My name is James Piranha Madonna of Mega Life 21, the hardest hitting internet talk radio station on the planet. Our homepage, of course, is besides www.myspace.com/megalife21, but our real homepage is www.newslettercensored.com. This gentleman next to me is a self-portrait of the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman that Dr. Bill painted himself. He is a fine watercolor artist. Okay, the William J. Eisenman collection of fine watercolor art can be seen on his William J. Eisenman Facebook page. It can be seen at www.newslettercensored.com. It can be seen at what I said before, www.myspace.com/megalife21. And if you like any of his paintings and you email him and ask him, and if it's still available, the bidding starts at $500 each. The William J. Eisenman collection of fine watercolor art. And what better time to unveil his newest painting of his present pet kitty cat named PC. All right. Let me... Complete.
Now.
I remember last week, was it?
Yeah.
Last week, when we did the show about General Electric not paying taxes last year and Snooki suckering Rutgers University into giving her $32,000 for talking stupid in front of the college students and blah, 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 and all the other subjects. The idiot right-wing fundamentalist asshole jerk that looks like a basset hound with a handlebar mustache that burned the Quran. Piece of crap. After we did that show, I showed you the beginnings of the painting. It was about 25 to 30% done. Now it is done. This is the Reverend Dr. Bill's present pet cat named PC. Fine watercolor painting is now finished and signed. Okay, PC is finished. Got that?
Got it.
Got it. All right. And of course, it will be scanned, properly scanned, and put on the internet in the gallery. Now, the newsletter. We got a brand new newsletter out. Newsletter censored. Founded in 1977 by the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. This newsletter is titled Listen, Little Man and Woman by William J. Eisenman, PhD. And we also, it's a big, looks like a big one. Looks like, wow, it's a big one because there's no room for tidbits. There's no health talk or tidbits, so it's a big, whopping article.
Too much to say lately.
There's a lot to say
Too much.
in this brand new issue that's hot off the pancake griddle. Okay, it's get it right now. It's brand new, and censored comes out what, every 3 months?
Every quarter.
Every quarter. So you would get your when you subscribe to your annual subscription, you get one every quarter. Then after the article, the political monologue, we have The God Project by William J. Eisenman, Doctor of Divinity, and he brings back, because it's only appropriate for this time of year, the Easter lie, the truth about Easter, and how all the traditions of Easter are based on paganism, just like the traditions, the accepted traditions of Christmas, because there's one called the Christmas lie, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now, after the God Project, we have the infamous subject that we were talking about, Sexuality, A Holistic Approach by William J. Eisenman, PhD. And this one is based on a complete, in-depth probing on the subject of anal sex. Analism.
Oh my God.
And it does get into fisting. Don't ask me how people do that. I didn't think that something that large would fit in there, but
a baby comes out.
Not out of the ass.
Well, you know, some people do the ass, some people do the vagina.
Are you serious? A woman cannot give birth out of her ass. What is this, South Park? Get the hell out of here.
Mostly that's done by homosexual men.
Yeah, homosexual men. But I'm just saying. All right, anal sex. Deep, in-depth probing, okay, of anal sex. And, you know, what are you going to do? You know, you get educated in every different way, in many different ways with Newsletter Censored. And if you don't fully understand the article, don't worry. You're not an asshole for not understanding it. For not understanding anal sex, you know. So keep on reading it over and over and it'll sink in. But anyway, that's it. You know, you know, you won't be the butt end of jokes.
Any more jokes?
Anyway, that's it. Newsletter Censored. Go to www.newslettercensored.com. Read all of the hard-hitting information contained there, and click on the printable order form. And with your gift to support this work, get your free annual subscription to Newsletters Censored. Get it right now. There's more information in the newsletter than there is on our websites or on our talk shows. Newsletter Censored discuss the 5 taboos of American life, which is politics, religion, human sexuality, health, and child rearing. Okay, you need Newsletter Censored. It is information that most people are afraid to hear. Can you handle it? Get Newsletter Censored now. You need Newsletter Censored in the end times, because we are living in the end times. And you will learn how to defeat a conservative, the true tool of Satan in the end times. And Newsletter Censored proves it. Proves it beyond anything John Boehner, Christie, or Rush Limbaugh, Newt Gingrich. It doesn't matter. Beyond anything you have heard, okay, from these famous political leaders, these conservative leaders, devil-led. Of course, Satan loves Sarah Palin because she's the most controlled, the most easily controlled of the conservatives, because she's a bubble-headed booby.
She should be on somebody's dashboard.
She's an nincompoop. Yeah, she should be on somebody's dashboard. You mean like the hula girl? What about a hood ornament with Sarah Palin's head shaking and bobbling? Remember the old hood ornaments that were on the old cars?
They wouldn't last. They wouldn't last long today, would they?
No. Oh, by the way, the look-alike of Sarah Palin that does the porno movie Nailin' Palin, she's pretty hot, man. She's got quite a rack on her, quite a set of jugs. I don't think Sarah Palin, the real Sarah Palin, has them, but anyway, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there in the red states and the Bible Belt states, the conservatives, that vote based on their emotion, their gut ideology, their counterfeit, phony baloney Christianity. They'll vote for Sarah Palin, no matter how stupid she is.
Because they are not amenable to facts, like I said before. They facts. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
beyond that,
Sarah Palin and Christine O'Donnell, they're good enough to date and get laid, but they're not good enough to run the country. They would totally. Well, the country is kaput now, even with intelligent people at the helm. Could you imagine if somebody like Palin won in 2012? I don't know, man. Well, it's like
the problem is that those people up in Washington, the faces that you see every day, they're not really running the world. So that's what the problem is.
Yeah. No, they're not.
Got corporations running the world. That's what's going on.
The fat cats.
Fat cats.
In other words, when the palms are greased, what you're trying to tell me, Reverend Dr. Bill, is when the palms are greased, these political leaders, no matter what party they're from, no matter how much education they've had, no matter how much intelligence and intellect they have, what you're trying to tell me is ultimately they all have a price. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, they all have a price, but the point of it is that we have allowed the country to fall into the hands of plutocrats. People, this is supposed to be a democracy.
Not a court.
Democracy is run by the people.
Yeah.
But
we the people.
Nothing. You can see it by just what happened with the shutdown here. The so-called deal that they came to for $39 billion, I can assure you that 99 and 44 fourths of all the cuts were done to programs for the poor.
So the Republicans love this shutdown.
Well, it ain't going to shut down because they did a continuing resolution for the next week. The point is, I'm saying the $39 billion does not consist of any military spending whatsoever, subsidies to oil companies and other corporations, which are two of the biggest layouts of money in the budget.
Right.
Okay? You can clip $800 billion from the military budget and not have any problems about some other country going to attack the United States because it's weak on defense.
Yeah.
That ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Cutting $800 billion from defense. Cutting all the subsidies to ExxonMobil, GE, etc. All these companies that don't pay any taxes, they get subsidies from us.
Yeah.
And of course the interest payments. Those are the big items. Not Social Security, not Medicaid, not Medicare, not women's health, not Planned Parenthood, etc., etc., etc.
Those are crumbs. Those are drips and drabs. They're pittance.
But that's what the Republicans are after because that's their ideology.
Well, I think the elitist conservatives that are in power that get paid off by corporate CEOs, I think they like to blame everything on the poor and use the poor as a scapegoat, as an excuse to not pay any taxes to help them. They expect the churches to take over and family members to take over, which is not going to happen. It's not realistic. There's not enough funding there to help the needy. And of course they're needy and poor and homeless and blah, 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 and jobless because of the greed of outsourcing of American jobs, which is very unpatriotic, and they do it because they can, and because of the offshore tax haven, and because the fact that the rich it's arranged so the rich do not pay any taxes at all, and all of this collectively caused the horrible job market and the lack of jobs. There's no jobs out there. Republicans, people don't believe Republicans in Washington. They're not out there. Why do they keep on saying that the unemployment rate is going down and the economy is starting to grow? Why do they keep on saying that? Is it growing?
It is growing. But the point of it is...
What sector? I mean, how?
Wall Street. Stock market. There are jobs that are being provided.
But they're specialty targeted...
No, they aren't. McDonald's is going to give you $50,000. They're entry-level stuff. They're hamburger flippers.
Hamburger flipper jobs.
Yeah.
And minimum wage jobs.
See, what people are not
big
saying,
deal. That's the American dream.
What people
minimum wage.
What people are not grasping and saying.
Yeah.
The jobs that are gone are gone.
For good.
They will never come back.
The jobs that have been outsourced already, no matter how many liberals, if there's any left, get elected in Washington, you're saying they will not come back.
They're gone.
They will never come back.
Right.
Don't waste your time expecting them to. They won't come back.
Right. So of course the economy can improve and the unemployment rate can go down.
Right.
But don't forget, you're not counting all the unemployed anymore. You're not counting the 99ers. No. You're not counting anybody who goes off unemployment or gave up or whatever. They're not counted anymore.
No, they're not counted. They're not in the figures anymore.
So even if the gosh darn rate went down to 4%, there'd still be a lot of unemployment because those jobs are gone.
Yeah.
And they will never come back. You can create new ones.
Right.
But can you create enough new ones to take the places of the old ones? I don't know. Probably can't do it in a couple of years, if it's even possible. So.
Yeah.
So it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all garbage anyway. You know. And besides, you have to understand a certain thing about the capitalist market economy that we profess here in this country. We need, according to that theory, we need a certain amount of unemployment to prevent inflation.
How does that happen?
So in reality, because you must always keep, they always figure that you must always keep so many people unemployed to keep the wages down.
You mean?
See, because they'll compete. They'll compete for jobs, and therefore the big boys can keep the wages down.
Oh, so having a certain percentage of po folk, as they say down south in America, po folk. If you eliminate po folk, then the wages, the average salary in America will skyrocket or go up?
Or it'll go up to a level that it should be at for a decent, fair wage.
There you go, a decent, fair wage. A living wage that people are supposed to have, that unions have been fighting for decades, right? A living wage. Heaven forbid somebody in America should roll out of bed early in the morning and bust their ass and get a living wage. Heaven forbid somebody should pay you what you deserve for your efforts. Otherwise, you might as well stay home if you're going to... What do you... Look.
America is one of the countries...
Minimum wage. What a joke.
Who... Paying for the amount of work done is not the issue. You can't convince me or anybody else with a critical mind that any CEO today is worth his pay for pushing papers on a desk.
No way are they worth it. They may claim corporate ass kissers that are not even wealthy. You know, you got your middle class corporate ass kissers, Tea Partiers. They'll say, "Oh, a CEO can make or break a corporation. Oh, they create the success. They create." Let me tell you something. Somebody was telling me about a particular retail company. Someday in the future, I will disclose who it is. A particular famous, very popular nationwide or maybe even worldwide retail company. A certain branch in northeastern New Jersey. Okay. Constantly making big bucks even though management cries poverty and says that they're not making big bucks, that they're losing money, but it's a lie. Place is loaded, is always jam-packed with customers. The lines in front of the cash registers are always long. And this famous retail company, you know, is doing well even though they lie and they cry poverty like, you know, elitists normally do. But the thing is that the wages that they're offering are crap. Like you said, they're entry level. Even if you had a husband and wife both working there making that same amount of money, you could never make ends meet because the cost of living would be way higher than you could never keep up with it. And these are the jobs that Republicans brag about that, you know, that are being created, but no benefits. You know, like I guess like working for Walmart, right? But this is like a phony version of success. But this company, the management constantly lies to the employees about what's going on, and you know, people are constantly leaving this particular store because they just get tired of the threats of you know oh, if you don't they want people to force customers to buy their credit card. Well, guess what? The employees are not getting any commission. They're not getting any commission for pushing. So where is the incentive? See, that's the whole thing. The jobs today, the companies want you to do so much, but there's no incentive. Where is the commission? Where is the promotions? Where are the raises? Where is the incentive to do more when they get threats from management?
Well, they don't have to provide that stuff because, as I said, there's so many job seekers for every opening. They can pick and choose.
Because there's like, if you leave, there's a whole line of people applying for your shitty job.
Exactly.
Waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
So they don't.
They're in the catbird seat.
Yeah, they're in the catbird seat. It's like supply and demand, like with real estate. It's a great time to buy, but how many people have the money to buy?
Or can get the loans now because the banks are sitting on their money. Our money. The banks are sitting on our money that the taxpayers gave them. The Fed.
The Fed.
For free. 0 interest. Can you get a loan for 0 interest?
No.
But the banks did.
You know, it's
McDonald's got money even.
McDonald's.
21,000 institutions or whatever.
Yeah, they're franchises now, right? They turn franchise, right? A lot of these fast food restaurants.
Franchise.
Yeah.
They receive bailout money.
Well, that's the story. I mean, what you don't believe what you hear when you, and of course the established media, the major networks are always saying positive things when it comes to corporations and the politicians in your state capital in Washington. You know, they never voice their own opinion and challenge the powers that be.
Oh, the Tea Party does.
I mean, the people in the
Republicans
media.
do.
The media.
The Democrats never do.
They fold like
They
cheap
fold.
like cheap cameras. Democrats never challenge anything.
By the way,
Yeah.
in Jesse Ventura's new book, he has documentation
Right.
that shows that George Bush and those on high,
Right.
they had Bin Laden at Tora Bora.
Oh, really?
They had the Delta Force there to get him,
Really?
and they were told to stand down.
Because they maybe because this war is about war profiteering, perhaps, and
Certainly wasn't about Bin Laden.
and if Bin Laden is captured, there might not be any more war profiteering going on. You think that's a possibility?
Well, we can speculate, can't we?
We certainly can, but I would check that video out of Jesse Ventura as a guest on Dr. Gary Null's show recently.
On the Progressive Radio Network.
On the Progressive Radio Network. Okay.
It'll be in the archives.
It's corporate and FCC free, right? Just like ours? Just like ours. Yeah, so that's basically it. Yeah, a CEO. Oh, what I was going to say about this famous retail company. The manager brags and boasts, and I've seen this many times before, about, oh, this store would not make this much money if it wasn't for me. Let me tell you something. It's the location that creates the business. It's the location that is drawing in the customers. You could hire an orangutan or a chimpanzee,
Push the papers around the desk.
or a friggin' tortoise to, yeah, I mean, the business will always be there because of the location. It happens to be in an ideal location in the suburbs. Ample parking galore. Customers don't even have to think twice about getting a good parking space. Nice, quiet, safe neighborhood.
So they don't have to ask God like whatchamacallit does?
Oh, Joel Osteen,
Joel
for a good park. You don't have to pray for a good parking space. Major highways, famous major New Jersey highways, all the way around the area. It's in a mall. I mean, the area. Look, location is so ideal and so crucial to a successful business. So it's not the manager, the egotistical big mouth. In this case, it's a woman. This bitch is always threatening, especially the guys. I don't know what it is about certain female managers that they have to threaten the men that are under her. Is this some kind of a insecurity that some female upper management has? They have to always threaten the male employees under them?
Obviously.
because they don't have a pair of balls and a dick, so they don't have the testosterone, so they have to compensate. It's kind of like a little dog, a little Pomeranian or a Chihuahua being more feisty than a big dog. They lack something. They have this insecurity, and they need to compensate for it. You know, like the middle-aged, pot-bellied, balding man who buys a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or a Corvette because it's a way of compensating. You know, but anyway, it was a good show. I'm glad I brought up Donald Trump. I knew he was going to show his true colors eventually. I knew it. Anyway, thank you for joining us for discussions. Okay, this is discussions of the Volume 5 series, because every month we go one higher in volume. You know, now it's the 5 series. It happens to be April 2011. Say so long to the people.
Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista.
Baby.